Hey peeps, welcome back to my channel and to another episode of Leaf templating. In this episode we're going to learn how to implement our own leaf tag. Because in the former ones we have learned how to use leaf tags or even what they are, right? Set, get, embed, for loops. If you haven't seen the former videos, check out the description. Link is there to find. However, let's have a look what we will be implementing. So you see for link there's a parentheses saying hero, right? So what we are going to do is we will implement our own leaf tag that is, for example, called hero check, right? Hashtag hero check, as we've used hashtag for loop or hashtag embed again. So hashtag hero check, and it will have one parameter passed in, which is the name, character.name. We will pass it in, and inside that tag, inside Swift, right, we will check whether that name is link, whether we have passed in only one parameters or more, and handle these cases, and then return either the normal character name, Zelda Ganondorf, if it's not link, or link with parentheses hero. So basically write logic, wrap it up into a tag, and use it in our template, right? So you can actually build whatever logic you want and just have one tag handling it for you and use it in the front end. So let's dive right into it, and we will do that by creating a new Swift file. So right here, let's create a new Swift file and call it hero check tag, right? And we will import leaf because that one exposes to us a protocol that we will let our hero check tag conform to tag renderer. Curly brackets, and let Xcode complain to fill out the stubs for us. This is the function that gets executed once you use the tag. So inside here we are going to, for example, define a variable that is called result. This is going to be our result. We will either assign the normal name that we get passed in here, Zelda Ganondorf, or we will assign the name of link plus the parentheses hero. So we have the result variable. And at the end, we are going to say return. We are going to access the tag and the container on it because we want to create a future, and return a string. We will have to wrap it up in here and pass in result. So that looks kind of complicated, but all we are doing actually is this function is expecting to return a future and a template data. So string itself is of type string and not template data, right? So therefore, there is a wrapper. The template data implements wrappers for the primitive types, also for non-primitive types. And that, for example, is string, and we can just pass in our string, so it will be wrapped in a template data. And we can return the future of template data that is holding a string. And you can also, if you are using ints or doubles, whatnot, or data even, or arrays, you can also just use then int or array. You can already see by autocompletion, template data provides you with those kind of wrappers. So that is our beginning and end of our tag, right? But we are not using result anyway. So what we want to do is, first of all, let's ensure when we use the tag that only one parameter gets passed in here, because we can pass multiple parameters in tags, for example, but this tag should only allow one. So let's make a switch statement on tag.parameters, which will be the array containing all the parameters that we are passing in, and let's make a count. And in the case it's 1, it's fine. We will implement some code here. In case it's not one parameter, right? In case we have a larger count or even 0 count, we will throw an error. And let's define our error. And that is basically super simple. We will define an enum, call it hero check error. All we have to do is conform to error, and that's it. Now we define cases and make them verbose. For example, here, if we have a wrong parameter count, right? Because either it's not 1, it's either 0 or above of 1. We will just throw hero check error and then wrong parameter count. That's it. We have handled that case. Now in case 1, right? In case that we have one parameter passed in here, we can say, all right, let's check whether the tag parameter, right? And the first one is actually a string. So let's make a let's say guard let name is equal to, so if we can cast the first element inside our parameters array into a string, then we are going to work with it. If we are not able to cast it into a string because someone passed in, let's say, an int or an object of some sort, so then it will not be able to cast this one into a string. Let's throw another error, and that will be, for example, let's say parameter has to be string or of type string, just verbose. So inside here we're just throwing hero check error, and then parameter has to be of type string. Handle that, and now we can use name because we know name is of type string, and we can actually check whether name lowercase, we will do lowercase, so in case link is with an upper L or some other format, we'll ensure everything lowercase is equal to a lowercase link, and if so, we want to assign to result the actual name, but also behind of it parentheses hero, right? That is our result. If that is not the case, right, then we want else and say result is equal just name. So in case of the parameter passed in, which will be a string, is link, we will make result being that, and if it's not link, we will just, for example, it's the case for Zelda that's not link, right? We will assign Zelda to result or Ganondorf to result and basically return the result. And now that's the implementation of our tag. How to use it, because if we go now into our character, for example, in here, right, this is character.name is our string we want to pass into our tag, and we want to name our tag hero check, right? For each character we want to check the name of it, whether or not it's a hero, and that's why we pass it into our hero check tag. However, this name, if we run the code right now, because we have written some Swift code, let's compile it. It will show an error and say no tag named hero check is registered, right? If we go here, we have used hero tag, but it's not registered, so we haven't exposed it to. We have the class, but we have never said, okay, the name of the tag is hero check of some sort anywhere, and we have to configure it. Basically, that's as simple as it sounds. Configuring it, all it requires is for you to define, let's say, a leave config here, right here, and say leave tag config and then default. We will just use the default instance of leave tag config, and we are saying leave tag config use an instance of hero check tag, right? This is our instance, and let's define our name for the tag here, hero check, just like that. So you can add as many leave tags as you want. Let's put that as a var, and you can define even more tags here, right? That makes sense. And at the end, once you've done, you will just register the leave config right here. So we have registered our leave tags. If we run now, we can refresh our page, and we indeed see link has parentheses hero, because our tag was not only recognized and exposed to the leave template, but also executed. And now we can go one step further if we want to. Let's go to our leave tag and make another case. So for example, let's use another if, let's say else if the name is lowercase equal Zelda, right? And let's put the else here. Then we want the whole thing to say princess, and let's run that. And now when we refresh our page, we have link is the hero, Zelda is the princess, everything else is just everything else. So yeah, basically that is how you implement your leave tag. If you want to go more crazy or implement even more logic to it, you can, and you can even do database queries here or network queries, whatnot, because there is a future that is to be returned. So you really have freedom whatsoever to implement into your leave tag. If that video was helpful, you can help me out by hitting like and also comment if you have any suggestions or feedback. Let me know in the comment section. Check out the description box for my Patreon to support me doing YouTube full-time, and also for my social media links. And don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on future episodes on server-side Swift, Swift iOS development, at some point game development, and my live streams, because I do every day a live stream on my current side project, which might be an iOS project or web project using Vapor. So you can just come along, code on your project, we'll sit together, chat on the stream, listen to some cool music, even play a game in between. So it's really fun and productive. Other than that, I hope I see you in the next one, and bye.